your way momentarily here, and they'll all be back to back to back. So because they only run a good 5 to 7 minutes apiece, we can have them go concurrently.
Yeah, no question about it. And we see that Oopla playing as the traditional player one. But Aquas, as we've seen in the tournament, he's going as player two. Let's see how this works out. They both have their Razor Shield to start.
Yeah, the one manipulation you can do in the game, it allows you to start with a Razor Shield in the room, helps you tear through the enemies a little bit more that get a little too close, and just try to take them out a little bit quicker, as Oopla tried to utilize that nuke and hit it a little early, but is still going to be out of the room first, it looks like.
Yeah, Aquas tried to do the same thing. He too was early, so he's about 3 seconds back of Oopla going into collect power-ups. They're going to be looking for rockets. They're going to be looking for that orb. They're going to be looking for anything they can to get through this room quickly. A Razor Shield for Oopla. Aquas with a foot, so early advantage to Oopla.
And a brief delay to get the runners synchronized chronologically here, and they're both right around the 109, 110 mark as we speak here. And we've got rockets for Aquas, and Oopla hanging on to that Razor Shield, and he got an orb in the mix there.
But so did Aquas right at the end of the room, but early weapon advantage for Oopla means he's going to get out first with a 120. Good time. Aquas with a 126, about 6.5 seconds back.
Eat My Shrapnel. It is, in a sense, a timed room. You have 18 of the Mr. Shrapnels there, those burgundy and almond suspendered individuals that move slowly to the outside there. Only 4 of them can appear on screen at a time, so you have to dispense of at least one of them before another will come through, and our runners want to try to keep them below that 4 so they don't bleed time.
Good weapon quality for Oopla with the rockets. Aqua's picking up a Razor Shield here. Going to wisely ignore the Smart Bomb because that's just going to be a time penalty in this room. So Oopla is going to be first. Aqua's managing to keep pace with him going into Total Carnage. But a Razor Shield early here in Total Carnage for Oopla. That's going to help him out. Aqua's picking up Vitamin R though, so some good weapon quality early. And Oopla getting some rockets. Tough spot. He nails it.
And there's the Razor Shield for Aquas. So all things being equal, you like to see it. You don't like to see RNG troll one runner and make it lopsided.
Yeah, you do love to see it indeed. We got a spreader for Aquas. Going to go ahead and reach that. He's got a little bit of that Razor Shield left. Same thing with Oopla. 2 sections apiece. Trying to maintain the middle. Trying to keep that count high of the kills. So we could see a sub-3 from Oopla, and indeed we are going to see a sub-3 from Oopla as he comes out at 2:57. And Aquas, though, good Smart Bomb, 3.5 seconds back with a 3 flat. You know what it's time for, Bergs.
I believe it's Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
I'll tell you what, though, this is a great race to start things off. Both of them with very good times entering the bonus room. No weapons to take with them, so this opening drop is going to be critical for both of these runners to see who's going to go into the Mutoid Man first. Grenades for Oopla, not a good drop. And rockets for Aquas, the king of drops. He may take the lead on this.
It is likely, as we see the shrapnel exploding. Yeah, obviously there are the tanks that cause the room to be tank trouble. The goal is to try to dispatch of those gunners that were on the wall, which both of our runners have done.
I will say this much, Burgundy. Oopla did a very good job with what was given to him. His patience. Oh! And
no.
Aquas runs into the mine! That is a shame there because he had a Razor Shield waiting for him. He would have kept that lead. Instead, Oopla is going to maintain that lead at a 4:05. That is going to widen because of that mine. A bad break there for Aquas hitting the mine there. And he's going to find himself double digits back because of it.
All it takes is one death to kind of throw things off, but here in Mutoid Man, it just is an empty drop. It could be a snipe from Mutoid Man or Mutoid Man sitting on a drop here. And
no ball buster for Oopla, so maybe a chance for Aquas. 13.5 seconds. That's definitely a manageable lead. No ball buster for Aquas either, so this could come down to who can get that all-important spreader.
We see lobbers on Aquas' side. And an invulnerability, we have grenades.
Ooh, back-to-back invulnerability, but Oopla taking a death, and he gets an empty drop. This is classic Mutoid Man at its finest, Bergs.
Oh, of course. Just when both of our runners kind of getting some momentum going, it gets brought to a screeching halt by the massive arms that are about to be blown off of Mutoid Man.
And right now, Oopla getting no weapons here. Rockets for both players, and it is, in fact, Aquas taking the lead with that consistent. And like I told you, that RNG, Oopla not getting the RNG, and Aquas not getting it either, but is making it work with what he's been given right now. It's still a close race, but we've not seen that important spreader. An empty drop for both.
Aqua's taking a gamble here, and it is a lobber on the other side.
Oh, Oopla trying to get to, he will be able to get to that spreader, just enough room. That's a critical spreader, and another spreader for Oopla. We'll have to manual this one, but the lead has changed hands again thanks to that spreader. Oopla.
Oh, lobber on the feet, though.
Well, not maybe the worst thing in the world. He would have needed to do manuals anyway. In his final form, Aquas needs to see a spreader right now. He does see one, but he has the invulnerability, so he couldn't take the intentional death. Another spreader in a prime player one spot, might I add. Now lobbers for Oopla. This should be enough. A spreader for Aquas, but that might be too late. It is.
This will be rather close behind here, but
oh yeah,
Team 1.
And you got to believe that mine, I mean, there's a lot of things that happened. I mean, that key spreader there for Oopla that enabled him to take the lead. Aquas running into that mine. You could point at a lot of things, but we're off to a flying start. You're talking 5.5 seconds, Bergs.
Man, this is delivering as expected. The lead shifting back and forth. And yeah, all it takes, it's the difference of one drop, a death, a number of different things. This very easily could have gone either way.
Yep, just a little bit more fortunate things happening for Oopla there. That mine that hurt Aquas there, but that spreader in a prime location for Oopla to get that lead and wouldn't look back. And then Aquas getting a spreader of his own, but by that time, the race was already over. But I'll tell you what, if we keep seeing races like this, Burgundy, we're going to be in for a treat.
I wholeheartedly agree. Looking forward to what we have next here, and we'll see if Aquas can tie it up or if Oopla can go out to a commanding but not insurmountable 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and that analysis is absolutely perfect. It's a commanding but not, definitely insurmountable 2-0 lead. As we have seen, we've seen 3-1 comebacks, we've seen 3-0 comebacks already in the best of sevens here in these late stages of the tournament, Berg. So anything is quite possible here, but you want to get that opening match under your belt, give yourself some confidence and momentum going forward.
Yeah, momentum is certainly one half of it, and the RNG is the other. At least you can, if you play well, that's all you can really hope for. If RNG gives you the business, as it were, you just have to do with what you've got.
Yeah, and you saw what happened. Oopla having some problem with the RNG in the early part of that Mutoid Man fight. Aquas did everything he could with what was given to him and actually took a lead on Oopla midway through the fight. But again, that RNG shifting the tides in Oopla's favor, getting that spreader, that was just enough to win this one. I'm looking forward to game number 2. I'm going to ask if they're ready, and we'll get them started.
Sounds good to me. So as Cards is doing that, we'll kind of give you a little tale of the history here regarding this particular tournament. As Aquas, started off falling to Zexy in the opening round 3-1. That moved him to the bonus bracket. And since then, it's been a hard-fought battle, going 3-0 over Space Colonizer, the 11 seed, then besting Gruntiatus, the 16 seed 3-1, Governator 5 3-1, and then a best of 7, edging out ET Go Ham in 7.
Yeah, and already Aquas has been involved in 3 photo finishes that have gone underneath the booth. Just absolutely insane. Won the first 2. We didn't have to go to the third one. A lot of people do believe it was going to go to E.T. Goham anyway, but that is neither here nor there to discuss. Meanwhile, it is going to be Oopla with the hole shot by about a second.
Still, sub 40 is really good to get out of there, and that's where both of our runners are at. You're seeing elite quality from these two here as we enter in. And oh, look, there is an orb for Oopla and a razor shield for Aquas.
Yeah, and as long as Oopla is able to keep control of that middle, no matter what happens with Aquas, he's going to keep that lead going into Eat My Shrapnel. And right now, the weapon quality has dried up since that opening razor shield for Aquas. There's a foot invulnerability. Oopla going to wisely ignore it. It's out of his way. And look at this. Even with no weapons, it's still a very hot time for Oopla with a 118. Aquas fishing for an orb right now. He's done nothing wrong. But the RNG is just not been cooperating early on, and he's already down by 9 seconds.
Yeah, you can tell by grabbing the grenade he is definitely chasing. There's rockets, which will certainly help.
Oh, absolutely. It'll get rid of the swirl, take care of the foot soldiers, take care of some of the Eat My Shrapnel dudes. So, yeah, that's definitely the weapon you want to see, but he needs to see that orb. If he doesn't, the longer he goes without the orb in total carnage, Oopla's going to be leading by 20 seconds minimum.
And you can see Oopla just in cruise control with the orb, the razor shield, the spreader, and now into total carnage, just about 2 minutes.
Yep, a 2-minute flat time for Oopla. Aquas at a 2:09, still 9 seconds back of Oopla, but again, no orb right now, so this is where Oopla can start to increase that lead. A razor shield for Aquas, that'll help him keep control of the middle for a little bit, but he needs to see that orb or hope that Oopla makes a mistake, and right now, Oopla's not making mistakes.
Oopla's also starting to dry up, and the RNG is keeping the orb healthy. And just as I say that, commentator's blessing perhaps.
Indeed.
Rockets rather. The other vitamin R.
Right, but not to be outdone. Aqua's picking up the orb, then Rockets to follow up. So at least the game is keeping him afloat. Aqua's doing everything he can with what the game's given him. But Oopla once again sub 3 into the bonus room with a 2:58. Aquas, this should be close to the end of the room, and I'll tell you what, he's actually gained a second on Oopla. It's 8 seconds now into the bonus room, so Aqua's doing a great job with what was given to him.
And on top of that, well, first, we've got some Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell, but we also have on Aquas' side about 2/3 of a clip of the spreader.
That should enable him to take down one of the gunners, not the second one. He's going to be looking for Rockets again. Let's see what he gets. It is Rockets!
Well, there you go.
So bump that spreader. Let's just move up to the vitamin R. Now Aquas can gain control of that middle and getting some spreaders on the feet. Rockets, though, for Oopla. So both of these players getting some excellent weapon drops here in Tank Trouble. That's quite rare.
Aquas opts to use the nuke just to get a little bit of breathing room and invulnerability, not what you like to see.
Oh, but Oopla dropping the orb late here, so you will not be able to get the ball buster on Mutoid Man, so that could hurt him a little bit. More Rockets. Aquas got to watch out for the shrapnel. It's about a 4:10, and Aquas is taking more time off that lead. We're down to 4 seconds.
I'd buy that for $1.
And has some rockets to be able to start. Should be able to take out those 2 gunners in front of Mutoid Man.
Yep, no question about it. But here's the spreader for Oopla. He'll have to manual in a prime player 2 position. Doesn't matter. It's blocked.
Blocked. Sat on by Mutoid. Trolltoid as he is.
Nah, Aquas does not get the ball buster, so not able to take advantage of having the orb into this room. Aquas picking up lobbers. Another refill coming up. Consistent weapons. No spreader for either player. It's more lobbers now for Aquas in a kind of precarious spot. Lobbers for Oopla, but they're about to run out. Luckily, he gets a refill. So right now, it's a pretty close race between both of these runners here, which is exactly what I expected. This is neck and neck. Both arms have popped off on both.
At practically the same time. Look at that.
Yeah, the way this is going, we could be in for a photo finish. Aquas able to get the lobber, more lobbers. We're talking old school strats here as Oopla retakes the lead. Here's a spreader, but Aquas, it's too far away. He has to go manual.
Great player, one position spreaders, but great
He
move.
gets a manual. Oh, he does get it. He gets the invulnerability. Aquas takes the lead.
Final form for Aquas, final form for Oopla.
Did Aquas get enough transfer damage? He did. He wins. And that's a sub 6. Holy Toledo, what a game. And it's going to be another losing 6-0X time on the board in this tournament as Aquas turns in a 557. Oopla is going to have a 607. Another 6-0X as a losing time in this tournament, Burgundy.
Yeah, I am not terribly surprised by it. I mean, these are both great runners. I mean, you certainly like to see it. It just was that little something on Aquas' side, and it just worked out in this case, and well, now we are even at 1 apiece.
You couldn't ask for a better result than this, and now essentially we've got this as a best-of-5 match between Oopla and Aquas, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of both players here, Burgundy.
Yeah, they are both playing very well. They're keeping the mistakes to a minimum, and that's the key. Obviously, things are going to happen, but if you can kind of keep them to a minimum, you can see that RNG will sometimes work in your favor and sometimes it won't. Aqua's doing a little bit better avoiding the mines, and you can see it led him to victory in this case. And as noted by Bryce off in chat, not dying on those manuals as well. Those are very important, just with those minutia in movements. So Cards is readying up our runners here for Game 3 in this best of 7. We are tied at 1 apiece.
I got a feeling that Oopla's going to bounce back and get a sub 6 of his own here. I mean, the way these two have been going back and forth, this is like Ali Frazier. They're just exchanging punches back and forth.
Seems to be, back and forth. It feels like, I'm going to date myself to the 90s on this one, but Sampras and Agassi.
Oh, those were always epic showdowns on the tennis court in majors. You better believe it. Both of them do have their razor shield. Oopla going to wisely ignore the smart bomb. Aquas, though, I think, was that a smart bomb in his feed that I saw?
I blinked and missed it.
I did too, but I thought I saw something. Yeah, that was a smart bomb in his feet. Tough break there. So again, it's going to be Oopla with the hole shot, and that is going to be a low 40 versus a high 41. I'm going to call it about a 2 3/4 lead for Oopla.
Well, as close as these have been, that's not going to necessarily be the be-all, end-all. It's not your proverbial dagger in a sense.
Nah, not even close. Rockets for Oopla, a spreader for Aqua. So again, drops favoring Oopla here in collect power-ups, but not to be outdone. An orb, then rockets for Aqua. So now an orb for Oopla. So you'll love to see those equal opportunity drops.
You say RNG favors the favorites, but what happens when both of them are the favorites in this
They're
case?
both pretty much favorites, and look at this. We got a 120 and a 121. Aqua's taking the lead there. Watch out for that swirl. Aqua's close call there. Oopla close call in his swirl. Weapons for Oopla. He's got rockets. Aqua's getting a key. Not going to help him there. Now grenades. So right now the grenades for both. So now the weapon's starting to dry up for both players, but shouldn't be an issue. They've got the shrapnels under control. They've got the foot soldiers under control. Aqua's, this is risky if he wants to go for those rockets, and now he's going to go for it with that opening. That was good patience there by Aquas. Maintains that 1 second lead going into total carnage. More importantly, have some rocket in the clip to start the room. Now a spreader.
Yeah, spreader's on the feed as he was working on clearing things out. going to wait to the last. No, he's going to ignore the nuke here.
A little surprised that he would ignore it this early in the game. He could have gone either way for that, but he decided he wanted to keep focusing on firing on the foot soldiers and just watch the shrapnels go instead of taking the nuke down. Wanted to keep that kill counter as high as possible. So not a terrible play there. If it was late in the room, ooh, grenades on the feet there for Aquas. Able to skirt by though. Here's a razor shield for Oopla, so he should be able to finish off the room with the middle intact. And now rockets, razor shield for Aquas. Great drops for both, but yes, indeed, we are going to have a lead change. Oopla with the better drops, 256, but Aquas with the 259, sub threes for both. You gotta love it.
You most certainly do. The sub 3 entry, and that makes it even more delicious when it's time for Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Don't drop that chalupa. We're in for a spicy race here. We could see some real good times here going into Mutoid Man. The opening drop going to be key here. Let's see what Oopla gets. Vulnerability in a bad spot. Aquas gets a spreader, not too bad. Not the rockets he's been used to seeing, but he'll take that spreader. One of the gunners is down as Oopla, though, drops and gets his orb back.
The game taketh away, the game giveth, and the game taketh away again.
Meanwhile, Aqua's finding rockets here. He's getting cornered, though. He's able to get it on that northeast corner. Trying to get the middle back. He's able to do so. Some nifty dancing there. Oopla, though, now he's going to be behind the 8-ball as he's getting no weapons here to take down the rest of the room. So I think we're going to see another lead change. Spreader on the feet there for Aquas, followed up by a nuke. Could close the room with it. And he's going to use it. Is that the end of the room? It is not.
Oh.
Close.
What a tease.
Still, Aquas will have the lead going into Mutoid Man with a 4:17. So a tournament record is possible with an 83-second fight. We've seen him do it before. Let's see if he can maybe get lucky here, and we can see some history here. Meanwhile, Oopla is going to be close to 20 seconds back. He is about 17 and a half seconds back. No ball buster for Aquas.
Flex gets him almost every time. Well, not him personally, but just in general.
Yeah, we've seen the Flex take away orbs a lot, trying to do that ball buster there in a very tough spot there. Aquas picking up lobbers. Grenades for Oopla, so better weapon quality right now early for Aquas. Now an empty drop for Oopla. This is not good. Empty drop, though, for Aquas.
Trying to ride out the grenades, and now a whole lot of nothing, and there's a spreader. And
I don't know about this. Can he get to it? Yes.
I think if Mutoid Man moved down instead of up, I think that might have blocked Aquas out.
Well, speaking of block, he does get the grenades. Just got out of the way for him to get it. We do have a glitch Toid Man on Aqua's side. Oopla, though, second arm pops up, so right now he's about more than a form behind. Oopla trying to do his best. Another spreader for Aquas, and he's going to get it.
Perfect positioning on that. Pops the head.
Oh, this might be another sub 6. This might be another sub 6 for Aquas, and it is.
Wow.
Aquas turning in back-to-back sub-6s in tournament play with another 5:59. I don't know how many times that has happened in tournament play, Burgundy, but that's one of the few times someone's gotten back-to-back sub-6s.
You knew going in, you just had this feeling, or at least I did, that it was going to be a special kind of day. And it feels like we're just getting started. We're only 3 races in of what could be a possible 14.
So one of the things that I mentioned early in the race with RNG, thinking that Oopla was going to get the better RNG, it's been Aquas getting the better RNG these last 2 races and turning him back-to-back sub-6s in tournament play. Just hot stuff that Aquas is throwing on Oopla right now. And Oopla, a little bit behind the 8-ball, certainly not out of it, but that RNG is going to have to turn his way soon. Otherwise, he may be down 3-1.
Well, as chat noting here, Brightself noting Oopla, the tank trouble, it can only get better from here. That's what the tank trouble was for Oopla in this case.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that was not a good play. Tank trouble there. I mean, didn't get weapon drops either, so that did not help Oopla's cause there. Aquas getting some really good drops, but he played the room well also. You know, he was cornered a few times, did some nifty dancing to get the drops that he needed, was able to control the middle for most of the part, and then getting some excellent drops on Muto and Man. I mean, I said he needed an 83-second fight. He ends up getting a 102-second fight, which in a tournament setting, really, really good.
Yeah, nothing to shake a stick at, but you know, when you're talking about setting records, there's just a little bit of a high threshold.
All right, so people, make your prediction. Will Aquas take a 3-1 lead, or will Oopla equalize?
Yeah, this has been absolutely wild, and let's see what game number 4 brings into the mix. This, I think, is definitely the pivot point.
Yeah, no question about it. Oopla does not want to be going down 3-1 with somebody as a caliber like Aquas here. I mean, we've seen what Oopla has been capable of this entire tournament, but pulling in some sub-6s. Again, 4th place on the leaderboard with a 531. Aquas 8th place on the leaderboard with a 541. But when you're going up against someone who has been consistent for the past several matches like Aquas, you can't be down 3-1 and expect to make this easy on yourself to make the comeback. But Oopla, once again, takes the whole shot by about 2.5 seconds in to collect power-ups.
Good luck. You'll need it.
But now it comes to the drops, and for Oopla, a delayed drop, and it's grenades on the feet, and grenades out of the way for Aquas, so neither of them really getting anything ideal.
Then picked up a spreader, now an invulnerability for both players, now a spreader. So they're getting the same drops, just in different orders here. So unlike the other matches that we've seen so far, in this one, not the glamorous drops, but here's rockets for Aquas.
Yeah, this seems to be one of the games, at least in the early going, that's going to make the players really earn it. And Oopla taking a death.
Oh, but does get an orb, the old manipulation orb, a 124 for Aquas as the shrapnel exploded at the end. But Oopla, 8 seconds back, and even more bad news, Aquas just picked up an orb.
Right after clearing things out.
So right now, as long as Aquas makes sure he keeps that orb and healthy, make sure the numbers are under control, he'll maintain that 8.5 second lead, if not increase it, if we don't see the weapons, if Oopla does not have this under control.
Meanwhile, the Vitamin R has been flowing over on Aquas' side. Back-to-back rockets, now an invulnerability. And the rich are getting richer. And now a Razor Shield. Going to leave it alone because there's nothing going near him, and it's the end of the room.
Yeah, it's the end of the room. No need to pick up that Razor Shield. You're only going to lose a little bit of time as it melts away at the end. It's a 207, and Oopla still 8 seconds back. So Oopla at least didn't lose any time in that room to Aquas, but now total carnage. This is where Aquas flipped the script here. Actually, no, this is where Oopla flipped the script because he got the better weapon drop in our last game. But rockets now for both. But we'll lose the orb!
That's the drawback to those grenades, is it requires you to be in close range, and sometimes you're just a little too close for comfort.
Today is not the last day of the tournament. We're going to be down to 6 players at the end of this match. Plus, we have one of our winner semifinals coming up between Brysolf and Princely. If you do not want to miss it, Oopla won't be able to get to it. He has to burn that Razor Shield, and it's a 3 flat for Aquas into the bonus room. Another hot time. Oopla uses a nuke, but he's going to be double digits back easily after losing that orb for most of this room. But rockets could close the room for Oopla. They won't. Spreader should, though, so he will at least have that to take with him into tank trouble. But nevertheless, Spurgs, he's 20 seconds back.
Yeah, entering the bonus room just as Aquas is leaving. Here is tank trouble. A foot, though, not what you like to see, but almost a full clip of spreader for Oopla. So at least gives a chance to clear things out in the beginning. And from there, we'll see. Aqua's now in the corner.
doing the corner strats there. Easily the worst drop that Aquas has seen to open tank trouble. Meanwhile, Oopla gets invulnerability, so he's not able to get something good. But again, he had some spreader, so didn't really need to work. Oh! Loses the orb right before he can get the nuke.
Not the trade-off you like to see. Clearing the room, but losing the orb.
Meanwhile, Aquas getting this, he's getting a little bit out of control in the middle there. They're all trying to grab that orb, but Aquas doing some nifty dance to make sure it stays healthy. And indeed, he's going to come away out of this room with the orb still intact with the 424. Oopla, he's going to be more than 20 seconds back, I fear.
Yeah, the room has not been kind to him, and I think that, that has been the issue here. Is tank trouble has been more than
look at this.
Oopla.
Aqua sees the spreader, gonna give up on the ball buster chance, gonna go for the spreader damage with those gunners intact. More spreaders here.
Spreader on the feet.
So now it's decision time. Aqua's gonna continue to go for the manuals there. Oopla's about 28 seconds back, and that second arm has already popped off, so Aqua's building that lead.
This has been a hot time thus far. Aquas, he's going to take the gamble, looking for another drop.
It's going to be a lobber.
Lobbers.
Here's a spreader. Well, the lobber's better than a lot of different things. I mean, only the spreader would have been a better drop there for Aquas. Now Oopla getting run over and gets a key. And Aquas popping the rib cage here with some lobbers left to go. Switching it up to rockets. Grenades for Oopla. Oopla needs to see a spreader, and he needs to see it now.
There's the lobber. Oopla getting a little...
Instead, it's Aquas getting the spreader. He'll have to go for manuals here, but now he sees another spreader. Oh, this one might be parked. Can he? Oh, but he gets out of the way for him. Man, the RNG been blessing Aquas here. This is going to be game, set, and match. It won't be a sub-6, but it is going to be another hot time for Aquas here. Wow, I don't believe this.
Amazing. It's going to be about a, 605, 606?
605 for Aquas. At a 557, a 559, and a 605 in succession like that. I mean, this is the 5th year we've done this tournament, Burgundy. I can't recall of another time where I saw 3 races as fast as that. Incredible stuff here from Aquas.
Most certainly, and I see the chat noting that the time is fast here. As far as personal bests, only 20 individuals have anything faster than 6 minutes. So yes, a 6:05. If it were, if Aquas was not already on the leaderboard, that would be 23rd place overall on the speedrun leaderboard.
So now Oopla finding himself behind the 8 ball after taking the opening match by 5.5 seconds. Aquas has reeled off 3 straight in impressive fashion. And now Oopla's going to have to find a way, dig deep, hope that the RNG cooperates, hope that the RNG screws over Aquas. And he's going to have to do something that only 2 people have done so far in this tournament. That is come back from 3 games to 1 down with 40-watt range and Jacquemus Wedge being the only 2 to pull it off. Can Oopla find a way to get back into this match, or will Aquas close it out right here?
Also of note, this is an elimination match, so Oopla's tournament life is on the line here.
Good luck.
Indeed, I've turned the runners loose here, Burgundy. The winner moves on to the losers quarterfinals, where they will be taking on either Bryself or 40-watt range. The loser will win $20 in cash for their efforts in the tournament.
Good luck.
Certainly not too bad, but here we go. Game number 5. Aquas looking to close out the 4-1 victory. Oopla looking to stay alive.
I will say this much. Oopla's going to have to play better than he's had in the last 3 games. He's been dropping orbs too early. That's enabled Aquas to get these massive leads going into Mewtwo and Man. Oopla has to play better. I mean, yes, he needs the drops to cooperate, sure, but he has to play the arena better. If he does not, this one could be over in 5. And look at this. We've got pretty much an even Steven race in to collect power-ups.
Yeah, too close to call, hundredths of a second apart at best.
Opening drop going to be critical for both runners here. Let's find out. Opening orb on the feet for Oopla, a foot. This is the kind of RNG Oopla needed to start things off.
And a razor shield to follow. So when you ride the hot hand, sometimes it works. Let's see if it keeps going here for Oopla, as there's still plenty of game left.
Aquas did pick up an orb of his own, but Oopla with the early orb should have the lead going into Eat My Shrapnel, and indeed, with a 1:18 hot time going into Eat My Shrapnel, Aquas going to find himself about 8 seconds back, 1:26.
Oopla picking up some spreaders with minimal foot soldiers around.
Meanwhile, Aquas, those Mr. Shrapnel's getting a little bit out of control, but is able to mitigate them. So there's a razor shield. So now Aquas should have no trouble taking down the foot soldiers. Oopla looking for some weapons to finish off this room. The foot soldiers getting a little bit out of hand. Because of that, the Shrapnels have been kind of building up a little bit. So Oopla going to have to work to finish this one off. He's going to have a 2 flat. So let's find out what happens with Aquas as he finishes off this room. No weapon to take with him. It is going to be a 2:09. So actually, Oopla gained a second on Aquas.
Yeah, extending that lead from 8 seconds to 9. And now let's see what Total Carnage will bring, apart from Total Carnage.
Well, it's a key for Oopla. Here's a spreader for Aquas. Another key! Hey, come on, game. There is no pleasure dome in easy percent. There's a drop for Oopla. He gets a razor shield.
Chad having the right call. Those keys, I'd buy that for a turnip.
Oh, certainly here. So right now it's Rocket. So now the drops starting to favor Oopla quite a bit. He should be ahead by double digits going into the bonus room. I mean, the quality of weapons, and look at this. This is a hot time. 2:55 into the bonus room. And Aquas has done nothing wrong in this game. It's just the RNG has been better treatment to Oopla. But Aquas only losing about 1.5 seconds. He's roughly 10.5 seconds back as it's time for Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
And chorito, nacho burrito. Master Tank, what are you doing here?
So yeah, Aquas did a good job with what the game gave him. A razor shield to start for Oopla, but keep in mind, Aquas has 2/3 of a clip of rockets left to help him get rid of the gunners. So with both gunners down on both sides, it's all about keeping control of the middle. Oh, and he gets shrapneled as Aquas!
Oh, wow.
And this was the room that hurt Aquas in game number 1, and right now could be hurting him in game number 5 as Oopla gets rockets. Oopla is definitely going to have the lead going into Mutoy Man, but he does lose the orb late, so he will not get a ball buster.
Yeah, he was playing a little fast and loose there, and I think that may just come from the desperation of facing elimination.
That very well could be. Again, not going to really hurt Oopla that much. It's a 4:11. But again, Aquas didn't lose that much time. He's about 12.5 seconds back at 4:24. So it's not over yet.
Well, Oopla, it looks like, had a little bit of that spreader, and then, well, he's going to have to manual this one.
He'll have to manual it. He's looking for an invulnerability to go with it, but instead it's a lobber on the feet, so he's going to miss out. Maybe not the worst thing in the world. Tough to get those manuals in. You're taking a chance. Aquas riding the lobbers here with the key. There's a rocket. Lobbers for Oopla, so Oopla definitely has the lead as the second arm pops off. Great prayer 2 spreader there. Oopla will be able to get to it, and he will be able to get some damage.
Long way to go for it, and Mutoid Man decided to just kind of part the way here.
Oh, but look at this. Another spreader for Oopla, but he's parking on it. He's parking on it. A bad break there for Oopla. Still has the lead by about a form as the second arm pops off as Aquas gets electrocuted. What's the next weapon going to be for Aquas? It's rockets that spawn late. Oopla clearly has the lead here. Aquas needs the one that needs to see a spreader right now, or we're going to see a game number 6.
Final form now for Oopla, riding those lobbers out.
So the RNG that Oopla needed to see, he's been seeing it in this game. Lobbers might be enough to do it. If not, this clip will. Won't be a sub 6 for Oopla, but it's going to be a very low 6-0x as Oopla stays alive. One game at a time, Burgundy, survive and advance, and Oopla has forced a game number 6 with 603.
So all these winning times have been pretty fantastic across the board here, all in that high 5, low 6 range, and that's pretty much what you'd expect in tournament play from these runners.
So the RNG that was favoring Aquas the last few races there with all those spreaders, this time it's Aquas who doesn't see a spreader, and Oopla getting a ton of them. There's a spreader late for Aquas, final form, so this is going to end up being Aquas' worst time, but again, RNG just didn't really cooperate this time around for Aquas. Still a respectable showing here. Nevertheless, it is Oopla who survives and is forced to game number 6.
Chat with a lot of interaction and is certainly appreciated. We thank you for joining us here on GG Speedruns as we now have a game 6. Will Aquas take it here and prove me to be some semblance of a Nostradamus, or will Oopla force a game 7, much to the delight of everybody?
Well, either way, my prediction just went by the wayside. Oopla, of course, can still win in 7. Aquas can still win it in 7. Or Aquas can win it in 6 and make her prediction come true. To me, it's anybody's guess at this point. I mean, yes, that is the kind of momentum, but I personally don't think we're going to see much of a worse time there that Aquas just put up. Again, had problems with tank trouble, which he had some problems with in game number 1 with the mine, but Mutoid Man compounded the situation there and then able to get Oopla an easy win in game number 5. I expect game number 6 to be much closer.
And that's what you hope to see, is even if RNG doesn't necessarily favor one over the other, you want to see a close race, and that one was just RNG giving Aquas the business, maybe because they wanted to see this go more than 5. Who knows?
I mean, to be fair, he had a 5:57, then a 5:59, then a 6:05, which are 3 spectacular tournament race times there. It's just the law of averages coming into play there for Aquas. Oopla needed to see something like that, and he still needs to see something like that happen here in game number 6. Because again, Aquas is still in a favorable position. He has 2 shots at winning, whereas Oopla has to win 2 in a row if he wants to advance.
Looks like the prediction in chat is fairly split.
Look at this time by Oopla. That's a 38 going into collect powers. Aquas with a 40, which is still a good time, but he's already 2 seconds back.
You'll need it.
Looks like 5 people voting that Oopla will force a game 7, 4 who aren't. The points that were wagered were a little lopsided, so the odds are a bit longer depending on what you vote.
Both players have a razor shield, no orb though. So there's an orb though for Oopla. So maybe the RNG is starting to turn the tide here as we're seeing Oopla getting good drops. And now the rich getting richer with rockets, and he'll have it to start the next room at 118. Aquas not going to be that far behind with the 123. He needs to find that orb.
Oopla just kind of hanging out in the middle on cruise control, utilizing what's left of the rocket, and more rockets for Oopla.
Yeah, the rich just getting richer and richer here. Aquas getting grenades, not getting the weapons that he's wanted to see. Now a razor shield. Man, just, it's having everything in the world here is Oopla. He's going to have no trouble here with the rest of this Eat My Shrapnel room. Aqua's still trying to fish for that orb. Sees spreaders. That's not what he wants. He wants to see that orb. It's a 201 for Oopla going into Total Carnage. Aqua's losing a second to 207, but more importantly, still no orb.
And This is the room where the difference really starts to show.
Yep. And now he gets a razor shield. Man, oh man. The RNG is favoring the more favored time here so far in game number 6 here. And Oopla with the 531, Aquas with the 541. Those are their 2 PBs respectively. And Oopla is getting everything but the kitchen sink. Aquas, meanwhile, is getting the kitchen sink.
But with a 3-2 lead is not necessarily sunk.
No, not a chance here. As Oopla, another hot time. This is going to be his best time. 2:53 into the bonus room. Now Aqua's finally getting an orb late here in Total Carnage, but he's going to be easily double digits back because he just got it so late. But it's at least going to maybe keep him afloat. But yeah, he's going to be 20 plus seconds. And he has done nothing wrong, Bergs. It's just that Aquas has gotten no help.
He has been given the business.
He is 28 seconds back. Oopla just been getting the good RNG, but now a bad opening drop here in Tank Trouble. We'll see how Oopla is able to handle it. So far, so good. Ooh, that shrapnel came dangerously close. And now the Rockets will clean up the rest of the gunners, clean up the middle. This is the kind of Tank Trouble Oopla needed. He's definitely going to be in the lead going into Mutoid Man. The only question is by how much. Look at this. Spreaders, rockets, rockets, more rockets. Oopla is going to have a chance at a tournament record here. This is going to be the end of the room right here for Oopla. It's a 4:05. He can get an 85-second, 95-second Mutoid Man. That's a tournament world record here. Let's find out what happens. Grenades on the feet there for Aquas here. He's trying to clean up Tank Trouble here, doing the best he can with what the game has given him. But, Oopla getting zapped early on and gets rockets, so no ball buster opportunity. Rockets, though, for Aquas might be able to finish off the room with these rockets. A spreader for Aquas might be able to use it for the Mutoid Man fight. Is going to pick it up, but look at this. Aquas, 36 seconds back. He needs a miracle.
I'd buy that for $1.
Somebody called Denise Williams. It's going to take a miracle here.
Aquas does have a little bit of spreader. Does he know this? He's not going to go for the manuals here. He's going to go for a little bit of the manuals here. I don't know if he got the ball buster or not. Hard to say from that angle.
I'm going to go to the quick replay on that to see.
I'm guessing he did not, though, but I'm only guessing at this point there as the rib cage is popped open. So it's a 2, and now a spreader for Oopla here. So the tournament record is going to be off the table, just not getting a good call. And now Oopla gets run over. A chance here for Aquas to gain some ground here. Rockets for Oopla, better quality weapons for Aquas, but now an invulnerability. And now a spreader for Oopla, but he's not going to go after it. He's going to have to go manual here as he's at the penultimate form. Aquas needs to see a spreader or we're going to see game 7. Oh, and Aquas getting zapped. He needs a spreader right here. And whatever it is, he's parked. It's lobbers. Final form. There's a spreader for Aquas, but it might be too late. He'll try to get as much in as he can, but Oopla gets run over, and it's an empty drop. This one is not over yet.
There's the head pop.
Aqua's trying to get to the final form. There's lobbers. This should be enough for Oopla, but Oopla gets run over again. And now lobbers for Aquas. This is going to be close. Oopla has a chance, though, with these lobbers to finish the job, but he's missing a lot of shots. Aqua's trying to finish him off, too. Spreader trying to close it. Oopla gonna survive.
Oopla forces a game 7, but not by much. Maybe a couple of seconds, maybe 3 or 4 seconds difference. If that.
The early RNG that Oopla got to give him that big lead, barely enough by 3 seconds. Aquas made a late charge, but it just wasn't enough. We've got a 7th, ladies and gentlemen.
So Oopla coming from down 3-1 to even it up.
Wow, what a match. And I'm telling you right now, what we have seen so far, with Aquas throwing in these hot times, but Oopla hanging in there, forcing the game 7. And we know we still have some hot matches left to go in this tournament, but this has an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to be the match of the tournament right here, right now. If this is a close game, number 7, Burgundy, I'd have to put this on top.
Man, this is definitely interesting, and we see here the the prediction put in who wins Rookie of the Tournament match, and I would have to think that whoever gets this, I don't know though.
I'll tell you what, I was gonna say that whoever won this match was gonna get Rookie of the Year, but like I mentioned at the beginning, with Oopla moving up to 4th place, he's furthering his case. Even if he loses this, he still might get Rookie of the Year. Aquas might have to advance another round to maybe be up for consideration for that, but we'll see what happens. They're both ready. I'm going to turn them loose. This is going to be a slobber knocker, folks. Hang on.
By God, yes it is.
Man, I'm at the edge of my seat here. I don't know about you, Burgundy, but we got Game 7 coming up between Oopla and Aquas. You couldn't ask for a more exciting finish. Here we go.
Here we are, still about half a minute to get your channel point votes in as we enter Arena 1 for the deciding Game 7. One's going to advance on, the other is going to be eliminated, but with $20 in their bindle.
Yep, somebody is guaranteed a controller between Oopla and Aquas. As you mentioned, yes, the loser takes home $20. The winner guarantees themselves at the very minimum $30 in cash, plus a fine Super Nintendo controller, courtesy of CHX42. And it is going to be Oopla with the whole shot, but not by much, less than a second, maybe half a second.
Good luck. You'll need it.
Opening drops critical for both of these runners. Oopla's been getting the better drops of late, but rockets for Aquas, a razor shield for Oopla, and now an ore for Aquas, so he gets the early opening RNG drops.
And a razor shield on top of it. A little dicey to get there, but Aquas does.
So this could be very close, but now it's Oopla's that's going to be the one fishing for an orb this time in game number 7. He's going to get rockets, but Aqua's using the nuke to finish the room. A hot time, 77 seconds. Oopla with a good time at 80 seconds, but more importantly, Aquas has the orb. And here comes that swirl. Get rid of it. He does. Here's an orb for Oopla. He needed to see that. Game number 7, I love it, Burgundy. Equal opportunity drops. Now, as long as Oopla keeps the numbers under control, same with Aquas, it's still going to be a 3-second race.
Here's the nuke. Aquas wisely avoiding it. This is the one room, Eat My Shrapnel, where the nuke actually is a disadvantage for you.
Yeah, absolutely, because as you mentioned, it is a time penalty if you take it. Aqua's going to take the razor shield late, kind of on his feet. Probably wanted to avoid it, but still at 2:01. And Oopla, yes, he has gained about a half second at 2:03.5. That razor shield right there did cost Aquas right there. That's why you don't want to grab it late, because you have to wait for it to melt before you can enter that door. There's rockets for Aquas. Watch out for those shrapnels. Rockets for Oopla. Equal opportunity drops. And the spreaders for both. You gotta love it, Bergs.
Oh, man. And you can see they're both chasing. And razor shield on the feet for Aquas.
Spreaders for Oopla. So the weapons have been flowing aplenty for both runners here in total carnage here. We could see sub 3 from both yet again. Rockets now for Aquas. Great drops continuing to flow here for Aquas here. Drying up a little bit for Oopla as he picks up the invulnerability. Aquas at the end of the room just about. This is going to be his best time into the bonus room. A 2:54. Oopla, another sub 3, 2:58. It's game number 7. There's no time for product placement, Burgundy. It's a serious business here. We've got game 7. We've got 2 sub 3s. We've got a 4-second race going into tank trouble.
Yeah, this is the time to be Lance Storm serious, that is for sure.
This opening drop here is going to be critical for both players, Bergs. What does Aquas get? He gets a nuke. That's a good drop. Will he go after it? He does. That'll give him a breather. One gunner down. Not the other one yet. A foot for Oopla, and he is in the northwest corner doing some good dancing to keep that orb healthy. Another nuke for Aquas. Go ahead and use it. Get the middle back. So this could be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to who either gets the better drop first or who makes a mistake first.
Plenty of nukes for Aquas. Now he picks up rockets. This gives him a good chance. More rockets now for Aquas. I think Aquas is going to have the lead just because quality of weapons has been better. Yes, indeed. It is going to be Aquas with a 4:08. 92-second fight. But Oopla, not that far back. Plus, he has the orb too. He's about 7.5 seconds back. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's going to come down to who gets the better RNG. No ballbuster for Aquas, as once again he gets flexed. No ballbuster for Oopla, but he had a spreader. He's going for the spreader instead. And indeed, it is Oopla popping the arm first, getting good spreader damage. Here's the spreader for Aquas. Will he be able to get to it? Yes, no block. Aquas gonna just focus on trying to get the spreader damage, but then he gets vibrated, so not able to get the full clip, but both arms pop off. We're even again. A key though for Oopla.
Long way to go for those lobbers for Aquas, so this will pretty well even it up again. But another empty drop, a foot now for Oopla.
Wow, and another one! Oh no! Aquas is out of lobbers though, but he does have the lead. No, it's even again!
Oh my gosh.
Now a spreader! I don't know, Aquas might have waited too long. He might have waited, and he's blocked! Oopla, gonna have to do manuals on the spreader. A mistake there from Aquas, and that might be a killer mistake as Oopla's trying to manual. Mutoid Man here. Final form now for Oopla. It's an empty drop for Aquas. Oopla, just a few more shots, and he will have done it. Will these grenades be enough for Oopla? It isn't. He needs to get the lobbers. Aquas running out of time, and he is out of time. Oh, Aquas had a 3-1 lead, but Oopla comes from all the way back to win the match. And I'm telling you right there, Aquas waited too long for that spreader. If he recognizes it sooner, Burgundy, I think he wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Mutoid could have still easily blocked. It's definitely one of those shoulda, woulda, coulda type scenarios here, but Oopla is advancing on, coming back from down 3-1. It's only, I believe, happened twice in the tournament's history over the last 5 years. And Aquas has played fantastically, but will be out in 7th place and $20 to his credit.